Isaac, as the middle patriarch situated between Abraham and Jacob, is an enigma. Unlike his predecessor and successor, he occupies very little space in the Torah's narrative. And even when he does, he's passive, if not silent. Things happen to Isaac. He's bound on the altar by his father. He's manipulated by his wife and younger son into giving Jacob the blessings he intended for Esau. And yet, there's one activity in which he dominates, and that is the digging of wells. Water is a priceless commodity for shepherds, and given the size of Jacob's flocks, it is little surprise that he expended so much effort in this area. He was something of a water diviner, with an uncanny knack of knowing just where to dig for this precious resource. His success, however, invited resentment and jealousy, and he frequently had to move his family and flocks and start all over again. A significant part of this week's Torah reading is devoted to Jacob's endeavors in this area. This rather prosaic tale of a shepherd's life is transformed into a theological drama by the Hasidic master, Rabbi Abraham Yehoshua Heschel of Abt. Rabbi Abraham Yehoshua Heschel builds his creative idea on the following verse. Vayachperu avdei Yitzchak banachal, vayimtzeu sham, be'er mayim chayim. And Isaac's servants dug in the valley and found there a well of spring water. The Hebrew word for valley or wadi is nachal, and that is its literal meaning in the verse. But nachal can also mean a stream of water, and it is the second meaning that is of interest to Rabbi Avraham Yehoshua Heschel. The flow of water is a particularly apt metaphor for the outpouring of one's soul. It evokes a pulsing movement, a flooding of desire for the divine. This movement he terms the Nachal Tachton, or lower stream. But there's also an upper stream, a Nachal Elyon, which symbolizes the downward flow, that is the effluence of the divine saturating the thirsty soul. Each of these spiritual streams, the one below flowing upwards and the one above flowing downwards, is represented in three Hebrew letters that comprise the word Nachal. The lower stream, that of human longing, of the divine, is represented by the Hebrew phrase in Psalms, Nafshenu chiksa ladonai. Our soul hopes or longs for God. The first letter of each word, Nun Chet Lamed, spells Nachal, stream. While the upper stream, that of divine outpouring to the soul, is represented by the Hebrew phrase in Exodus, Notzer Chesed La'alafim. He extends kindness to the 1,000th generation. Also comprised of Nun Chet Lamed, spelling Nachal, stream. Having described these two streams or modes of human-divine communion, Rabbi Avraham Yehoshua makes the point that one is a prerequisite of the other, that the human must make the first movement, that like Isaac and his well-digging activity, one must break ground and dig deeply into oneself to uncover a spiritual yearning, to cause one's lower stream to flow outward and upward. When this is achieved, one's yearning will be met with a downward flow from above, experienced as renewed inspiration and deeper spiritual awareness. Rabbi Avraham Yehoshua sees in the life and work of Isaac a practical framework for religious experience. Genuine, sustainable religious experiences require as their starting point enormous personal investment. One must bore beneath the hard surface of complacency to discover the yearning that flows beneath. Only then can this lower stream meet and mingle with the outpouring of divine love, leading to a true human-divine communion.